A released WWE star says F no to a Royal Rumble return, plus scrapped Elimination Chamber plans are revealed, and an AEW star is out of action for 3 months. It's all in the wrestling news right now. From today, multiple former WWE stars have their 90 days done. And they are able to go out into the free wrestling world and do what they want. That includes Keith Lee, that includes Mia Yim, Oney Lorcan, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, and Nia Jax. Lena Fenene was a guest on the sessions with Renee Paquette, and it was a very spicy chat.
I can imagine it was, yeah.
And you know what? I know that a lot of comments have been said about Nia Jax as a wrestler, but I absolutely agree wholeheartedly with some of the points that she makes in this chat, and it's said in a very colourful manner as well. So we will avoid all the swears. You can fill in the blanks, I'm sure. So chatting on Renee Paquette's podcast, she revealed that WWE had invited her to be an entrant in the Rumble on Saturday, right?
Okay.
She said, I'm in the middle of getting my stuff back from WWE. They sent me a box and more than half of it was missing. At least they sent you a box.
It wasn't a bin bag, yeah.
There is that. Jack says, when I got the call, I thought it was about my missing stuff. So I answered and I'm like, hey, what's up? My homie in talent relations, they were like, hey, we're just calling to see if you'd be interested in participating in the Royal Rumble. And I started hysterically laughing because I thought it was my friend joking with me. I was like, oh, you're freaking hilarious. And he was actually, no, this is an official call. And I was like, oh, F no, I'm not coming back. And he was like, oh, but we'd like to offer you this. And I said, first of all, I already know I'm still under my 90 days. You're still going to be paying me anyway, so you're not offering me anything. No, I'm not effing coming back. Absolutely effing not. I was like, is this all it was? He said, yeah. I said, okay, bye. It wasn't. Now, this is where it gets even worse, right? Because it wasn't even an official invite to be in the Rumble.
No, it wasn't. Was it, Tom? What was it?
So, Fenene said they were accumulating a list to send to Vince, and then Vince will go through the list and say who he wants and who he doesn't. And Fenene says, I was like, you're asking me to be a part of a list to go to the next step. I was like, F no. How much can you SH1T on me, dude? Fenene, very colourful in the way she described it, but yeah. I think we're beginning to see now why there's been these stories coming out of people refusing a spot in the Rumble.
I just think that, we're going to see more and more names, but this just sounds like how they would go about, getting back an old school wrestler. Like, we'll quickly ring around the old boys, see who's up for it, and then we'll send them all to Vince, and Vince will go, yeah, or no, or, and ultimately for a company to have publicly released you in such a way and kind of just callously do it when they did it, for all of these talents that were released, not just Nia, because there was a couple of other factors going on there, but it's basically just what do they expect? Do they expect people to be like, oh yeah, sure boss, I'm coming straight back, oh I love you?
I imagine that some people would will have been up for that.
Yeah,
and that's fine. It all depends on your experience with the company. Some people have left the company and it's been nothing but love and nothing but positive.
Yeah, I guess
it's great to see.
Some people have had opposite experience to that.
Yeah. If you've been misused and manhandled and then suddenly let go from your contract and then they just go, do you want to come back? Only we don't know if you will come back. We just want to know if we can put you on a list and also maybe mention your name to Vince.
Also, we'll pay you even though we're paying you.
Yeah. How about exposure? Like all great artists. So I get a lot of what she said here. She talks about a few other things in this chat with Renee Paquette as well. She confirmed that she had decided not to get the COVID vaccine. She said she sat down with Vince McMahon at one point and was told that by not getting the vaccine, it meant that she couldn't fulfill some of her contractual duties. Fenene also said that she's never saying never to a wrestling return, but also said she's keen to start a family. I enjoy the way that she put this. She said, I love wrestling. I didn't like the SH1T, the politics, all the other BS, Brian Scranton.
Yes.
But also, I'm not getting any younger, and I already talked to you about it. I'm trying to find my man so I can start popping out babies. Those are the words of Lena Fenene.
She's just tying a lasso, just getting ready to go.
Walking to a nightclub. You
Get over here, Scorpion style.
I can see her at some point making popping back up in wrestling.
I see her making a return down the line at some point, and it'll be quite a big shocking, like, oh, it's Nia Jax.
I think a lot has to be. I think if that is going to be the case, and we've said it a lot. It needs to be a very simple return. I think because the big issue that we had, we did a video all about it. She's quite dangerous.
Well, you know, this is the thing. It's one of those things that it needs a whole lot of things looking at as a situation. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nia was to turn back up one day.
Me neither.
It probably won't be in a Rumble appearance, as we've just learned.
Apparently not. F no was the polite response to that request. Is the Elimination Chamber coming up in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Is this our life now, Sam?
Yeah. When it's not WWE on your weekends, it's AEW. When it's neither of those, it's New Japan at 6 a.m.
It's the wrestling. It's never ending. Have a little cry. WWE, according to PW Insider, are going to tape 2 episodes of SmackDown in New Orleans on the 11th of Feb. So if you're going to that show, you'll get 2 shows and some spoilers, no doubt. And looking to the Elimination Chamber itself in Saudi Arabia, Dave Meltzer has given us a little scrapped plan from that show.
Yes.
Involving one of our faves.
It's a bit of a bad one as well, you know. The whole wrestling world is going to be absolutely saddened when they hear about what we've lost out on. What it was going to be was Shane McMahon in the chamber to set up a feud with Rollins for WrestleMania. We'll never see the best in the world go off against that other one from The Shield.
Well, we never
That could have been that other one from The Shield's big break.
It's only a game show. Sorry, wrong big break.
He said, I don't know if that was going to be the championship match, but obviously whether it is or it isn't, that was changed. So I don't know how that relates to Shane at Mania, but that was supposed to be the step to that.
Because there was the other speculation that Seth was winning the title and then possibly facing Shane McMahon for the title.
Nepotism makes the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, I don't know why I went for the triple WF there,
Look at you.
Go round. So, you know, why not?
I didn't expect us, like when we were sat doing news this time last week and we were looking ahead to the Rumble, I didn't expect this much Shane McMahon news.
But ultimately, like when it was like, oh, Shane's going to be in the chamber, it was like, okay, yeah, there's, you know, a couple of
Jump
things
off
he
the
can
chamber.
jump off, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, unless he jumps off the outside of the chamber, it's nothing new. And I feel that Shane McMahon sees himself as a bit of an artiste. And so he just like looks at it, they announce it, or they kind of tease that he's going to be at the chamber or whatever, or it starts coming out, and he just gets the entire crew to build it, walks around it, like 10 minutes before Raw. This is why the script keeps getting changed. He's just occupying their time. He's like, no, there's nothing there for me. I wouldn't be breaking any new ground. And then he puts his little beret on and he's got one of those cigarette sticks and he just walks out. Sunglasses, it's dark inside. The roll neck.
He'll jump off the plane as it's going over Jeddah.
He just skydives in and hits an elbow drop like... He waits till he's like 4 feet off the ground and very quickly disconnects it.
He's an artiste, as we say. The Shane stuff, obviously you take it all with a pinch of salt as you do with most things, but it's just the idea of Shane back on Saturday at the Rumble because he's put it together and he's going, right, hear me out, lads. What if I win the Rumble?
We didn't really have a sort of like many kind of big shock old school names in the men's, did we at all? So Shane was like the closest thing I think to like an old school name, because obviously 90s and that, but it still felt a little bit like, God, I remember when you came back in 2016 and I was just so happy. What happened, Shane? What happened, Shane?
Ross's reaction burned Reddit to the ground. You can watch that on the cut down reactions on our channel right now. As you can imagine, Ross was delighted.
He's over the moon.
Which is ironically the same moon that Shane jumped off at WrestleMania 47. Final an AEW star out of action. Who are we talking about, Sam?
We are talking about Riho. Now, Dave Meltzer was reporting that she's expected to be out of action for 3 months due to a broken collarbone, which is pretty gnarly. The injury happened during the match where Riho challenged Britt Baker for the AEW Women's Championship at last month's Battle of the Belt special on TNT. So, you know, that it might mean that, you know, we've already had some of that 3 month month period. But at the same time, yeah, it just sounds nasty. Rest up Riho.
She's not long been back either.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I just, as long as she's okay, as long as she heals fully and is ready to come back, then, you know, it's wrestling, isn't it? It ain't ballet, pal.
It ain't ballet. I do. No, I'm looking forward to seeing her back in it. I'm a big fan of what Rio does. I am. Dynamite tonight. A happy reminder, as we talked about in the previous news video. Brian Kendrick's rocking up.
Yeah,
that's a thing. That's gonna be ridiculous. And more news about that and other things as we get it throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.